Local 4 News starts now with a breaking news alert.
And that breaking news is happening out of Warren this afternoon, where a train has derailed and several roads are closed. Drone 4 is overhead, showing at least 20 cars. You can see them here on your screen off of the tracks. And some of those train cars, we're told, are carrying hazardous liquids, but it doesn't appear that anything is leaked.
The train derailed at Stevens and Shaner, and now several major roads in that area are closed because of it, including a part of 10 Mile. Jacqueline Francis is live in Warren with what we know about the derailment and how long it's going to impact drivers. Jacqueline?
If you were one of those drivers stuck in traffic this morning, here is your reason why. And while the train is intact where we're at right now, which is on Stevens Road, just on the other side of the train is Shaner and Groesbeck. It's not far down the track where things took a turn for the worst. Take a look from Drone 4, train cars mangled and traffic rerouted. It all started around 7:30 this morning when at least a dozen train cars were involved in a derailment on Warren's southeast side in the area of Stevens and Shaner. No one was hurt, including the two conductors on board. Fire officials say there is no threat to the public and that no hazardous materials are leaking. As a result of the derailment, road closures will continue for the next several hours, including 10 Mile Road between Groesbeck Highway and Shaner Road between 10 Mile Road and Stevens Road west of Shaner Road. As for what caused the derailment to happen,
we don't know whether the track failed or whether a car failed, but we do know that there was no involvement of a truck or a passenger car striking the train. That wasn't the issue. There was some sort of mechanical failure associated with either the track or the train itself.
Back here live, officials are now tasked with picking up the pieces. Literally, the first priority is to move the train cars like this one that are blocking major roadways. From there, they're going to go and pick up those cars that were tipped over, put them upright again. This whole process will likely take well into tomorrow, but they do hope to have some of these roads open later on this afternoon. We're live in Warren. Jacqueline Francis, Local 4.
All right, Jacqueline, thank you.
All right, right now we're getting our first look in the daytime hours at Hurricane Ian's impact on the Florida Gulf Coast. Take a look at your screen here. As you know, it hit as a Category 4 storm with 150-mile-per-hour winds and storm surges as high as 12 feet in some areas. Ian has been downgraded ever since, downgraded now to a tropical storm as it still continues to move across Florida. But right now, people are being rescued from the disaster zone. We've seen buildings that have collapsed and many roads are just impassable.
And that is a disaster when you look at those images. This is a live look right now at Orlando, Florida, where actually the storm is still hitting. It has not passed through the entire state yet. The Florida Governor, Ron DeSantis, says that there are at least 2 deaths reported in connection with Hurricane Ian as well. And if you are trying to reach family and friends there, know that it may be difficult right now because more than 2.5 million customers are without power. And 2 of Florida's major internet providers from Xfinity and Spectrum are having severe connection issues.
Storm surge washed away part of Florida's Sanibel Causeway. This is the only way to get from Sanibel and Captiva Islands to the state's mainland. A large section of the bridge fell out. You can see it right there in the water. It fell into the Gulf, cutting off access to Sanibel Island and Barrier Island, where 6,300 people live.
It gives you perspective of the power of that storm. Fort Myers, Florida was hit particularly hard as well. This morning, people were out looking at the extent of the damage. Video shows the downed trees, massive trees, all the debris and parts of homes scattered all over the streets.
The floodwaters, as you can see here, especially high in Naples. This is video of Naples Fire Rescue having to wade through waist-deep water to reach a woman whose car was nearly submerged. They had to use an axe to break her window. You saw that there. They thankfully were able to get her out to safety. And then a little while ago, Florida's governor again saying that it is still not safe to be outside.
People have emerged this morning, particularly in the areas that were hard hit. Just understand this is still a hazardous situation. Those folks that were in there in the wee hours of the morning were taking big risks as first responders navigating this. You have power lines that are down, you have trees that are down, you have a lot of hazards right now.
a lot of them that are in the way. And President Biden has declared a major disaster declaration in Florida, ordering federal aid to help with state and local recovery efforts.
And our coverage continues now from Tampa, Florida. That's where we find Chris Pallone. He's showing us the extent of damage there.
Search and rescue teams are now scouring the hardest hit areas of southwest Florida after Hurricane Ian pounded the area starting yesterday afternoon. They're going out to places like Naples and Fort Myers, Sanibel Island, trying to see if there are any people who are still trapped who need to be rescued, getting a sense of the sheer destruction that happened in the afternoon and evening hours overnight. Obviously, Ian came on shore with ferocity, bringing 150-mile-per-hour winds in that storm surge. We've seen so many remarkable videos of the Gulf of Mexico just inundating coastal towns in southwest Florida. And so the search is on to see whether there are people who need help or not. But this is still an ongoing situation. Here in Tampa, things are relatively calm. The city said that people can come back to their homes here. But in Orlando, out towards the Space Coast and up towards Jacksonville, they are getting inundated with rain today. We're seeing lots of flash flooding, people reporting their homes, their cars, their businesses are being inundated. The governor said it could be a 500-year flood event, and the storm will continue to move northward. The governors of the states of Georgia, North and South Carolina, and Virginia have already declared states of emergency as they fear what's coming for them with Ian. That's a story from Tampa. I'm Chris Pallone, NBC News.
All right, Chris, thank you. And that gives you perspective, a 500-year flood. This is a massive, massive process to try to get through. And Brandon, something you said yesterday, that the storm itself was 500 miles in size.
Right.
That's why we're seeing so many different cities in Florida impacted.
And yesterday it was from the Gulf of Mexico all the way across the state to the Bahamas with the impact of rain bands. But really the intensity, the closer you get to the eye or eye wall, and some of the winds that were reported from this storm yesterday well exceeding 100 miles an hour on land. Cape Coral, 140-mile-an-hour winds reported yesterday. Punta Gorda, about 125-mile-an-hour winds. Venice, 104. Fort Myers, 100. Lakeland, St. Petersburg, Tampa all had about 75 to 80-mile-an-hour winds. Currently, we have still storm surge warnings on the west coast near Tampa, south of Tampa into Port Charlotte, Cape Coral, but also Jacksonville because of 3 to 5 foot storm surge or elevation in ocean here. And in the St. Johns River, they're expecting quite a bit of storm surge and flooding, plainly from rains. And look at this thing pounding the Jacksonville area as we speak. Haven't seen any tornadoes yet, but we're keeping an eye. Tropical storm officially is out over the ocean again. On the Atlantic side, barely a tropical storm at 70 miles an hour. Look at this. Late tonight into early tomorrow, a Category 1 as it takes aim Hilton Head and Charleston, South Carolina, Friday morning, guys.
And we know you'll stay on top of it. In other news and closer here to home, demolition work is starting today on the long-abandoned Packard plant over on Detroit's east side. In July, City Council approved using $1.7 million in American Rescue Plan funding to partially demolish the site. In 2017, the previous owner of the plant released a $350 million plan to redevelop it. However, after years of setbacks, a judge ordered the owner to demolish it earlier this year. And when that deadline was missed, the city took control of the plant. The city's going to kick off demolition in about an hour and a half. And we do have a crew there for you. We're going to bring you more in our later newscasts.
If you are heading to or from Detroit over the next several days, you may encounter a major freeway closure. We're talking about a part of I-94 that is now closed, and it'll be closed for the next 5 days. It's because of work on that 2nd Avenue bridge. Our Kim DeJolio, she shows you what's closed and the best way to get around it.
Crucial testing on the brand new 2nd Avenue Bridge has begun. So for the next 5 days, your downtown commute will be affected because I-94 is closed in both directions. You may remember over the summer when I-94 closed down to roll the brand new 2nd Avenue Bridge into place. Now MDOT has closed the freeway again.
This is just to reinforce the strength of the bridge, and we need a full closure to allow the contractor access to the post-tensioning process.
MDOT spokesperson Rob Morosi says the 2nd Avenue structure is the first network-tied arched bridge built here in Michigan, supported by cables with no center base, supported from the ground. This is why they were able to build it before putting it into place.
We selected this structure based on the future improvements that we're going to do at the I-94 and Lodge interchange.
Testing on the bridge begins today. I-94 is currently closed in both directions between I-75 and I-96. The closure will last 5 days, ending Tuesday, October 4th at 4 a.m. The 2nd Avenue Bridge is expected to open by the end of the year, complete with 2 lanes for traffic, a bike lane, and a pedestrian sidewalk, which will be very helpful for Wayne State students.
2nd Avenue leads right onto the Wayne State campus, and right now a lot of people are taking Woodward over to the side streets to access the campus. At this point in time, we're looking forward to getting that 2nd Avenue Bridge open, so any of the students living north of the freeway will have direct access into them.
Now, if you travel over on westbound I-94, you can exit at I-75, take that to 96, back to I-94. Eastbound commuters will take 96 to 75, back to eastbound I-94. Reporting along I-94, I'm Kim DeGiulio, Local 4.
All right, Kim, thank you. Let's turn now to Decision 2022. Absentee ballot voting is now open in Michigan. As of today, you can get your absentee ballots and return them. It comes one day after Michigan lawmakers agreed on an early absentee ballot processing plan in Lansing. The deal reached between the legislature and governor means local clerks will have 2 days before the election to pre-process ballots. All right, we've got a lot more to come here on Local 4 News at noon.
Yes, we do, including Help Me Hank joining us live from Westland. Hey, Hank.
Hey, Rhonda, Everard, we're here live at the Westland Family Diner. Not only did we have some great breakfast food this morning, but the purpose of being here, it is to connect with our viewers one-on-one, hear from them, their problems, their story ideas, issues they need Help Me Hank to solve. Coming up after the break, how you can get Help Me Hank in your